Okay, guys, let's have a look at this triangle. So, again, we're not using the triangle to answer the question, but we are using it just to visualize it. This one's a little bit cramped. Apologies. But we just want to see what it looks like.
Cox is in negative x?
Yeah. Or, no, 1 equals, there's some, y equals negative x minus 1.
Okay, so length of a median and equation of a median. So a median is considered both a line and a line segment. So if I asked you for the equation of the median, it would be the equation from, obviously, from the vertex K. So from the vertex K, what is the definition of a median again? It goes from a vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side. So we're going to find the midpoint of this side, and basically the length of the median is this line segment. Meanwhile, we know that the line itself actually goes on forever. Okay, but if I ask you to calculate the length of a median, you know what that means. Or now you know what that means. So the first thing I need to do is figure out the midpoint of J and L. Okay, so
Are you on 24?
we've got 2, 3 as our midpoint here. Okay, so essentially all I have to do is find the length of MK, which I'm going to do using length of the midpoint formula. So I'm just going to write K here for easy viewing. So here I've got 4 minus 2 squared plus 0 minus 3 squared. And that's just 4 plus 9. So it's actually root 13. And we're not going to make that a decimal. We're just going to leave it as it is. Okay, so I know the length of MK is root 13. My next question is to find the equation of the median. So let's use a different color. Actually, I have an idea. So the equation of the median I think it's going to look like this. Oh. Why am I doing this wrong every single time? Oh, I know why. Okay, so the line is the one that actually goes through the whole thing, right? Let me just try something here. I think I can. I think there's a way to make this a dotted line, but I'm not going to figure that out right now. So I want the equation of that whole line. So if I want the equation of a line, what I need is the slope and a point, right? So for the point, I can use either K or M, and I can decide later. But the slope is the slope of MK, so I have to compute that. So the slope of MK is 3 minus 0 over 2 minus 4. So it's negative 3 over 2. And I know it's a fraction, but that's okay. We can still do y minus y line. Y minus y line equals mx minus x line. So we get, let's put in k because there's a 0. That makes life easy. So I get y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 12 over 2, which is just 6. And even though I haven't drawn it like perfectly, When I look in the picture, I can see that, yeah, it looks like it goes through around 6. Make that blue. Okay, so this line has equation y equals -3/2x plus 6. All right, so we've got one more to do, and that's the altitude from J. So who wants to remind me what an altitude is? Where do I start drawing the altitude? I'll use
vertex
green.
From
Yeah, which vertex?
J.
J, okay.
And then you just draw it as
So-
the other one.
Basically, I need to know where to stop. So where are you going to stop me, Will?
No.
Ish?
Yeah. well,
I mean, again, our graph doesn't have to be perfect, right? Our calculations have to be perfect. So, yes, we're gonna, that's not perfect, but whatever, okay? We know that the idea is that's supposed to be at a 90 degree to LK. So, when I figure out, so for part C, when I do this altitude, I know the point. I have no choice in the point on the line. The point on this line is J. The slope is perpendicular to the slope of LK. So this is a two-stepper. I have to find the slope of LK, which I'm going to do now. I need to calculate it. Slope of LK.
What does it mean by besides slope, like?
Perpendicular. It's in our notes, if you read that part. Okay, so I know that the slope is -4. And if I look at my triangle, yeah, it's a really steep negative slope from L to K. Okay, so what is my perpendicular slope? Yep, Peter, 1/4. Good. So now when I do y minus y line equals mx minus x line, I get y minus 2. So I have to put j in. Y minus 2, 1/4, x minus 1. So I get x/4 minus 1/4 plus 8/4. I just did a common denominator in my head there quickly. So it's x/4 plus 7/4. You know what? Let's check. Those numbers are weird. Does that seem right? Yeah, that green line looks like it intersects like between 1 and 2, right? All right. Any questions with this? Do we think we could do it? Like, you have to memorize, like, if I mean, it's just slope and point, right? It's just knowing which slope and which point. So if you haven't memorized it yet or whatever, yeah, that's the battle, is knowing which point and which slope. It's always y minus y line, and once you know the slope and the point, you just chug it out. But like, knowing the two things that you have to put in, that's the hard part. So I think, like I said, in quad 1, guys were getting confused because they would be like, which slope and which point again? And then I'd help them, and then they'd do the rest of the question really easily, thinking that they were getting it, but every time they asked me for the point and the slope.
On a test?
That's the part, no. But on the test, they couldn't do it, right? So that's the hard part, is knowing the point and the slope.
Don't you have like a 33.6% chance of guessing it right?
You'd be surprised.
No,
Okay.
33.33333.
Guys, this one's pretty quick, and then the other one's a little bit longer. So let's try to get through these quickly and take a break, or did you want to take a break after this one? And then come back and do that last one? Okay. All right.
Oh, my brain is not tried yet.
Here we go. So negative 12, 6 is here.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
off the grid. Great.
Negative 8, 6 is here. And 4, 0 is here.
What the?
Because you don't actually have to grab it when you're doing the real thing. It's just
Hell,
all-
what in the world?
Okay. So, real easy. A and B are real easy. Determine the coordinates of S, the midpoint of PR. So if we have P as negative 12, 6 and R as negative 8, 6, we're going to take the midpoint of these two things, negative 10, 6. So the midpoint is this guy, negative 10, 6. B is equally easy. I want the midpoint of P, Q, and I'm going to call that, oops, I'm going to call that T. T is negative 4, 3. And what's nice about having the graph is that I can just see if my calculations are making sense, right? Alrighty, so we did A and B. Give you guys a sec to catch up. So part C says verify that ST is parallel to QR. So we really just need to know the meaning of what does it mean to be parallel. So parallel,
They're the same. The slope.
same slope.
Different.
It's definitely not.
Okay, so what I need is to calculate the slope of ST and calculate the slope of QR. So S is,
Negative 10, 6.
oh, I called it M here. Oopsie. Let me fix that. Force of habit. Okay, so S is negative 10, 6, and T is negative 4, 3. So this is 6 minus 3 over negative 10 plus 4. What's that? 3 over 6. 3 over negative 6, so that's negative 1/2. So I basically want to show that MQR is the same. Okay, so we've got 6 minus 0 over negative 8 minus 4, which is 6 over negative 12, which is also negative 1/2. Okay, so they both have the same slope. Okay. So verify that ST is half the length of QR. So what I need to do is compute the length of this line segment. Okay, and I'm going to show you something that happens with these kinds of questions, like a common mistake that happens, so that you guys do not make it. So we get root 45 here. And that one's pretty easy to reduce because we all know that 45 is 9 times 5. Okay. Let's look at QR. Okay, so Q is 40, R is -8, 6. So here we go. We've got 4 plus 8 squared, 0 minus 6 squared. Okay, let me show you what happens sometimes at this stage. So we get to root 180, and guys want to show, like, they know what they're being asked to do. They know that if I take half of QR, that should be equal to ST. Now let me give you what the common mistake is. If I want to take half of root 180, okay, what guys sometimes do is this. And they tell me that it's root 90. This is not true, okay? In order to take half of 180, okay, so this is the wrong way to do it. In order to take half of 180, what you should be doing, maybe I'll do it like this. What you should be doing, the correct way, is taking 180 and dividing the result by 2. Now, if you really want to put it within the radical, what you do is you write it. Actually, can you tell me, how would I write this within a radical? What would I divide by inside there? 4.
Yeah.
You divide by 2 squared.
Oh.
That's right. Okay. So what ends up happening, like 90% of the time, is guys who do it that way, they screw it up. Sometimes they get it right. I mean, it is root 45, right? Which is 3 root 5. Okay, but the better way, what I'm trying to say is, like, I would just avoid this. Okay? Avoid this. So this answer is correct. But what I would do instead is I would just reduce the 180. So if I look closely at 180, I can see that it's root 36, root 5. Okay, so guys divide by 2 because they think it's easier than reducing this, but then they mess it up. Okay, but I know that 6 root 5 is 2 times 3 root 5, and then I'm done.
You just do that instead of having to do the 3 root 5. You just do that and simplify it to half of 6 root 5.
What do you mean?
So you know how you did like the half of on the right side? And
I want you to avoid this. I would rather you do it the way we did it in the boxes. Yeah. Okay, I would avoid that. But guys try to do it. I don't know why. Because I think in their minds they think it's going to be faster. But getting it right is actually hard. Okay, so guys, the last question. This is what the one I said is a bit long. And it's really like your middle of the road meat and potatoes 3.3 question. I'm giving you 3 points and I'm asking you to calculate the median, altitude, perpendicular bisector, and then a length of one of the medians. So this is like a summary of the whole entire lesson right in one question. Okay, so let's do it. And then we'll take a break. So we've got 9, 6. That's A. Okay, there we go. Okay, so all of these are from C, which is kind of nice. Okay, so we want the median. So I'll do the median in, let's do it in red. So the median from C to AB. So the first thing I need in a median is the midpoint of AB. I'm going to call it M. So the midpoint of AB is 2, 4. I don't expect you to do the calculation, okay? You can do it in your head. So here we go. Here's the midpoint. Actually, I'm going to try to make it a little bit smaller on here. Okay, so the midpoint is 2, 4. All right, so where's the median? How do I draw the median? Yes?
It's the line from the midpoint C4 to C.
Not in the,
That's not gonna be fun.
What in the world? Uh-oh.
That's 0.5.
Okay. So I'm trying to find the equation of this red line. So I can see it has a steep positive slope and the y-intercept is like below -10. So that's nice to know. So I know that I need to figure out the slope. The slope is the slope between of MC. Slope M to C. So let's calculate that. So lowercase m of MC is 4 minus -4 divided by 2 minus 1. So we've got 8. That seems right. Okay, the slope is pretty negative. So y minus y line equals m x minus x line. So remember here, my point is either M or C because they're both on the line, and my slope has to be M equals 8. Okay, so I'm going to put 8 in here. And I don't know, I think M might be slightly easier because, well, no reason. Okay, so my final answer here is y is 8x minus 16 plus 4 gives me minus 12. So that jives with what I was saying before about the intercept being like below 10, below -10. Never mind. So this point down here is -12.
Very nice.
All right. Next, let's do the right bisector of AB. So what's nice is with the right bisector, remember we said the right bisector, the bisector means midpoint of AB, which I already have.
Oh, we do. Yes.
Okay. But the right part, okay, this part we need the slope perpendicular to the slope of AB. So we actually have to find the slope of AB in order to be able to get the perpendicular slope. So A is 9.6, B is -5.2. So the slope AB is 6 minus 2 over 9 plus 5, which is 4 over 14. So MAB is 2 over 7, which looks bad, but the perpendicular slope isn't so bad. What is the slope perpendicular to 2 over 7? Yeah, negative 7 over 2. Guys, I'm going to pause and give you a sec to catch up. Okay.
That one was super easy.
So guys, I know my point is got to be m24, and my slope has got to be m equals negative 7 over 2. So this is what's going in my formula. Let's do this. All right, so we've got y minus 4 equals negative 7 over 2 x minus 2. So that's y equals negative 7 over 2x plus 7 plus 4. Y equals negative 7 over 2x plus 11. Yeah, I forgot to actually graph it in, so let's graph it in. So, negative 7 over 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. Yeah, that looks perpendicular.
36.
Okay. And then the last one, I mean the last line, okay? So we want the altitude from C to AB. So I'm going to start with C, okay? And I need to be, because it's an altitude, I need to be perpendicular to the opposite side. Guys, my slope of the purple line should be perpendicular or parallel to the slope of the blue line. Okay? So what's nice is we've already computed that. Okay, so the altitude, okay, it's going to go through the point C. Okay, and then the slope we already have, okay, is perpendicular to the slope of AB, and that slope is negative 7 over 2, which we have already computed. Let's do it. Actually, let's do this. All right, we're getting rid of these two. So I've got y plus 4, x minus 1. Should want purple here. Okay, so y equals negative 7 over 2x plus 7 over 2 minus, and I'm just going to write it as 8 over 2 as a common denominator. So I get negative 7 over 2x minus 1/2. Let's take a look at it and see if it works.
Where did you get the 4, the positive 4 and negative 1?
From right here.
You have to take the negative percent.
We're plugging in the point C. Okay. One last thing. We want to find the length of the median. This one's kind of easy. Okay, because we basically just need the length of CM. Okay, and we know C is 1, negative 4, and M is 2, 4. Okay, I have the answers to the questions here in standard form, actually. I forgot. 2 minus 1 squared plus 4 plus 4 squared That's 1 plus 64. That's root 65, which cannot be reduced. So guys, these questions, yes, they're calculation heavy, but really, it's the concept of which slope and which point that I want to hammer home. So yeah, you might not know it, and like have it memorized at this very moment, but I want you to be able to study it and figure it out, be able to figure it out for the test. Want everybody to say bye to Matthew?
Bye, Matt. Matt,
Bye,
munch.
Bye,
Bye,
Munch.
Munch.
Bye,
Bye,
Munch.
Munchy.
See you